Hello, my name is Professor Johnson, and today we will find the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that goes through the point 6, negative 3, and is perpendicular to the line 3x minus 4y equals 5. First things first, whenever we're making an equation of the line, we need to first find the slope. We need to figure out what the slope is. Now, the slope will be coming from this line that's given, but our slope needs to be perpendicular. So imagine if you have a line, so imagine it's whatever line, to be perpendicular, it needs to be a 90-degree angle at where it intersects. So slope of one of the lines has to be the negative reciprocal of the other slope. So just keep in mind, negative reciprocal. Okay, so let's find the slope. We're going to take 3x minus 4y equals 5. This is written in standard form and given to us. This is not a useful form to see the slope clearly. So let's rearrange. And I am going to rearrange it into this form, y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. So I'm going to rewrite the equation given in standard form into slope-intercept form. Let's do that. I will keep the y on the left-hand side right now with the negative 4, but I'm going to move the 3x to the other side. In order to do that, you have to subtract by 3x. So on the right-hand side, now I have negative 3x plus 5. But we're not quite done. We need to divide by negative 4 to everything to get the left-hand side just y equals something. We are almost there. What I need to do next is look at the right-hand side. We have negative 3x is all divided by negative 4. And then we have a plus 5. That is all divided by a negative 4. This goes back to a fraction rule. A plus b divided by c. You could do a divided by c plus b over c, which is exactly what I just did. Everything's divided by the negative 4. So, one more step. I'll put it in a different color to show you. Look at this. We have y equals negative divided by a negative would make a positive 3/4 x. And then we have a positive divided by a negative. That's really a negative 5/4. But we don't even care what that end value is because we have a perpendicular line that we're creating. So, I'm only going to take the slope piece. I'm only going to take the slope piece. Remember, right here, we're looking for just the slope. We don't care about anything else, just the slope. Now, I found the slope of one of the lines. I'll call this slope 1. Slope 1 is 3/4. Now, in order to make this work, we need the slope of the other line. Another way to write this is a perpendicular symbol, the perpendicular slope. Now remember what I said earlier? You have to take the negative reciprocal. So the negative and then reciprocal. You flip it. Just flip-flop it. So instead of 3/4, we have 4/3. And then you negate it, negative reciprocal. I will be using this as our slope of the perpendicular line. That is what we want to make. And we're going to force that line to go through the point 6, negative 3. So let's go over to the right-hand side. 6, negative 3. We found our slope, negative 4/3, and we want to use 6, negative 3 as our ordered pair. Now there's two methods to solve this. I'll show the first method. I will just use y equals mx plus b. Just using the slope-intercept form that you saw before. But like I said, the y-intercept, which would really be 0, b, the y-intercept will be a different value in this line than it was in the other line we looked at. Using what we know the m, we know the slope. So I will plug right in negative 4/3. Now, you could treat 6 and negative 3 as x and y. So this x I'm going to replace with a 6, and this y I'm going to replace with a negative 3. And then don't forget, we still had plus b hanging out on the end. Now let's simplify. Negative 3 equals, okay, but let's look here. 6 and a 3 have 3 in common. 3 goes into 6 twice. So then that leaves us with 2 times negative 4 gives you negative 8. Now I can add 8 to the left-hand side to get my b value. b equals 5. So that tells me my y-intercept, right? My y-intercept, I'll put int for intercept just so I don't have to write it all the way out, 0, 5. But really, we just need to keep in mind we're going to place this right where the b is. So our final answer would be y equals negative 4/3 x, so the slope in our x, plus 5. Okay, but like I said, there's 2 ways. That is one way. Let's check with another way. The other way would be using this form. Y minus y1 equals m multiplied by x minus x1. Now, as before, m is given to us. And then what is this x1, y1? x1, y1 really is just thinking back to this point that I had earlier. x1 will be the 6, y1 will be the negative 3. It's just a different way of saying x and y. This x right here I'm going to treat as a variable though. And then this x1 I'm going to treat as a value. On the left-hand side, we have minus, but you're subtracting a negative. So keep in mind what that does. Now let's talk about what this is called. This is really called point slope form. And I think you can see why. There's a point. The point is x1, y1. The slope is the m. And that's why it's called point slope form. Very similar to why this equation up at the top, y equals mx plus b, is called slope intercept form, because m is the slope and then the b is relating to the y-intercept. Now let's clean up the rest of the problem. Y plus 3 equals, let's distribute, negative 4/3 x. Let's distribute. Negative times a negative would make a positive, and we have to multiply the 4/3 times the 6. But as before, 3 and 6 have something in common. 3 is in common, which leaves you with a 2. The 4 and the 2 can give you a positive 8. So now we will have this equals this plus 8. But we're almost done. We have to subtract by 3. That was kind of a funny 3. Subtract by 3 to get y equals negative 4/3 x plus 5. Final answer. They both check out. Both methods work. Thank you for watching my video.